Suddenly, a man appeared on a bike at the top of a mountain. He came zipping down the mountain. Now, to the naked eye, it looked like this man had somewhere very, very important to go. Another man standing on the side of the road, straddling his bike, shouted out, "Hey, where are you going?" And the bikeaholic replied, "I don't know, ask the bike." Have you ever found yourself zipping through life without any real purpose, hoping that maybe it'll bump into you? How you move your body will affect how you move through life. Isn't there always two sides to a coin? So the flip side to the coin, how you don't move your body, well, I'll let you fill in the blanks. Good afternoon. My name is Darren Scherbain, and I'm extremely grateful that you're sharing your time with me this afternoon. I'm a heroic storyteller and an exercise physiologist. Ooh, exercise physiology, what's that? Let's take you back to the science lab at school. Make sure you put on your safety glasses, because life is all about safety, safety, safety. Now, if science isn't your thing, let's make a smoothie. Who doesn't love smoothies? What? Yeah, of course. It'll be sugar-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, very, very organic, and of course, very, very green. So in our blender, let's throw in a little anatomy, biology, chemistry, sports psychology, neuroplasticity. This one's going to be a tough one. Just give me a sec. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Psychoneuroimmunology. Biomechanics. And of course, lots and lots of movement. I'm fascinated and passionate about human movement. I'm a heroic storyteller who helps people tell a more powerful, confident story with body, mind, and spirit. You don't believe me? Well, let's rip a page out of John Dewey's textbook and do a little pragmatic learning. Learning by doing. I want everybody to stand up. Stand up right now, nice and tall. Get your ass out of those ashtrays. Stand up nice and tall. Everybody stand up. Everybody stand up nice and tall. Get that chest up and that chin back. Now, on the count of 3, I want you to give me your biggest smile. Okay? I want you to give me your biggest smile. I'm not talking about a cute little hee-hee, I just stuck my gum underneath the table and didn't get caught. I mean that kind of smile that today is the day Santa Claus is coming to town. The kind of smile that you'll see in a sports store, watching a father as he's juggling his iPhone with his girl on her first pink and white bike, zigzagging up and down the sports aisles. We're going to need a smile so big that we've got to wear a ladybug helmet and have training wheels to support it. Okay, is everybody with me? Okay, so on the count of 3, I want your biggest smile. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, smile! When does life ever wait for you to be ready? Smile. Give me that big smile. Smile, smile, smile. We, and it's a collective we, we've just changed the chemistry in one another's brain in here. This very simple act of sharing a smile has released 2 very powerful neurotransmitters, dopamine and serotonin. Now, we'll go for a little science up here for you science freaks. Dopamine and serotonin, they're going to affect our movement, emotions, the experience of pleasure, and memory. The science of psychoneuroimmunology has shown the link between a strong, resilient immune system and happiness. Now, there are always 2 sides to a coin, aren't there? Here's a very interesting fact. A study performed by a group at the University of Cardiff in Wales found that people who could not frown from Botox injections were happier than those who could frown. I just want to be crystal clear. I'm not telling you to go out and get Botox injections. But maybe I was wrong. Maybe sometimes things do bump into us. All right. Oh! Now comes the elephant in the room. Here comes that elephant in the room, right? Now, please, what is the first thing somebody tells us when they have some extremely bad news for us? They want to drop the bomb on us. What's the first thing they're going to tell us? I want you to sit down. No, no, no. I do not want you to sit down. I want you to keep standing up. Sitting is the new smoking. Here are the health implications of excessive sitting. Tell me if it sounds familiar to the same thing as reading the back of a cigarette package. Okay, here we go. Increased sitting increases our risk for metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, a cluster bomb. Okay? Increased obesity, increased risk for coronary heart disease, increased blood pressure, increased chance of developing type 2 diabetes. That was just the first one. I've got a whole list of them here for you. Increased risk for developing type 2 diabetes. This is separate from metabolic syndrome. Metabolic syndrome, and this is increased risk for developing type 2 diabetes. Number 3, because of the muscle inactivity, what we're finding is a disruption to the insulin-resistant signaling pathway. What it means is that our body is going to be producing too much insulin. All right? Why is that a bad thing? Well, what we're going to see is an increase body fat, increase cortisol, and a decrease in the serotonin and dopamine, those feel-good chemicals. Do you want me to keep going? Next. Increased anxiety and depression. And last but not least, I don't know if I want to read this one, but I'm going to. Okay? Excessive sitting, increased chance of the #1 killer in the world right now, coronary heart disease. So if that's not enough to get you to think about standing up a little bit more, I want to tell you a little bit about how the human body is designed. The human body is designed to be a movement machine. It's encoded in our evolution to be a hunter, to be a gatherer. Unfortunately, today, no body, that's a nice pun, is not hunting or gathering. The world is at your fingertips. It's an instant download away, a quick click. We have never had such an access to terabytes and terabytes of information and knowledge. Knowledge is not power. Knowledge is an opiate. If you're a guy like me, you're probably thinking, no worries, I'll just exercise a little bit more. Actually, I've got some bad news for you. Researchers out of UCLA, California, have found that even if I meet the daily requirements for exercise, it's still not enough. The problem is prolonged and excessive sitting. They have shown the thinning of the MTL, medial temporal lobe, your brain. Why is that important? Well, number one, it's your brain. Number two, it's responsible for forming memories, creativity. So what we need is not more exercise. What we need is more movement. What we need to do is train our brain to get more movement. Now listen, I'm going to be very honest with you. You are not lazy. You are not unmotivated. You've just been using the wrong science to get your brain to take action. So let's look at what the science says about motivation. One of the leading researchers for the last 20 years is a lady by the name of Gabrielle Odejan. And she has written a book, and she's done a lot of research called Rethinking Positive Thinking. Dreamers are not doers. If you can dream it, you can achieve it, doesn't hold true. Odejan has discovered that just by dreaming it, and I'll put the onus on myself, just by dreaming it, Darren puts himself into a temporary state of bliss. Remember I was talking about the opiates? I have undercut the much needed energy needed in the brain to take action. I have temporarily tricked my brain not to take any action, that it can just be satisfied with the procrastination. Here's a really good example that knowledge is not power. I have the absolute perfect chocolate chip cookie recipe. It's the best. It's perfect. But unless I smell the cookies coming from the oven, nothing's going to change. That was a little warm and fuzzy, wasn't it? Let's get one that really hooks your attention and really grabs your curiosity. I can read about and I can study having an orgasm. Until I experience the power of an orgasm, nothing changes. So, how do we move into a more of a state of action rather than inertia and sitting? So this is the latest research coming out of motivation. What can we do to motivate ourselves? We've got to use two different techniques in it. Number one, mental contrasting. Number two, the implementation intentions. What do I mean by that? Well, number one, what is our wish? Well, my wish is that I get more movement. And you can use this for anything. What is the outcome that we want? Well, for me, I want to take the compression off my spine. There's a lot of loading going down through the lumbar region of the spine. Isn't it funny that if you watch most people, how they move their body, we've gone from this position of being a hunter, scanning the plane, chest up, chin back, into this position, that chronic eye hunch position. And you don't think that's a big deal? All you biology geeks, physiology geeks, check out the valgus nerve and tell me if you still want to sit a lot. What is the obstacle? Now, the obstacle isn't something like a brick wall right here. The obstacle comes back to personal responsibility. The onus is on myself. What is the obstacle inside of me? So my biggest obstacle is, well, I'm too busy to stand up and walk. And now this is where we've got those implementation intentions. So if that comes up, how will I respond to that? If I forget to stand up, I'll set my alarm on my watch around my desk. You think it's annoying at 5:30 in the morning? You should see how annoying it is every 45 minutes, and you got to get up from your desk, walk around, and pick it up. So remember WHOOP. What is your wish? What is the outcome? What is the obstacle and the plan? This is the biggest thing about the plan. Let's be realists. What are the obstacles we're coming up against? Myself. What are the obstacles I'm creating for myself? I'm not getting enough movement because I'm lazy. No, I'm not getting enough movement because I haven't trained my brain how to take action. Simple little baby steps. Put the watch around the front of the desk. Get up and get it. You drive to the shopping center. Park in the last row. Little baby steps. They all add up to make a difference. Do the housework at home. I always get a kick out of it. When I'm watching people. And it's almost like they're fighting for this spot right at the gym. You know that coveted VIP parking right at the door to the gym? They roll into the gym, and it's a battle who can get in there first. Then they go into the gym, and they get on the bloody treadmill and walk. And I'm this kind of like... I have learned from experience that I will make mistakes, I'm not perfect, and I will get mud on my shoes. You remember that healthy smoothie we whipped up a little earlier? How do you think I usually drink that? Sitting down. But there's a value in mud. How important is mud? A lotus is a flower that grows in the mud. The deeper and thicker the mud, the more beautiful the flower. How do you foster good relationships? Well, it's not by sitting around hoping that they will bump into you. The way to foster relationships, stand up tall, chest up, chin back, and lead with your heart. Thank you very much.